FaZe came out hot. I mean, people were tweeting, just give them the trophy already. They're about to run it back. And then they hit a little bit of a wall when that S&D win streak ended. And then So what messed up with FaZe after that hot start?
Go ahead, Pat. Talk to me about your days.
Yeah, I mean, I think Slasher had a really hot start to the tournament, and then really got cold the rest of it. I don't think Slasher like costed by any means like that, but really, I think that losing Toronto series, it's tough because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, they lost to the 1 and 2 teams, but in the winter finals, when they lost that S&D streak to Toronto after winning game 1, they just honestly looked a lot flatter than I thought. Like, I mean, granted, Toronto played great in that series. Austin didn't play too hot, and then and I hate this because like they're not bad at it, but like there's actually a stat I was looking at, James, where the team's records when they fall to losers after losing out of winners, like showing all the teams like how they react different. I think OpTic's one of the better teams at that. Like, they don't really go out lose that immediate series. But FaZe like has been in that situation a few times where they lose out of winners and then they fall flat when they hit losers. And I think they were playing a red hot OpTic team who got probably the best, again, a great series for them. Like, they played Boston right away and got hot early, and then FaZe just dropped down and play the red hot team. And we saw that on that Fortress. Like, OpTic came out and literally world starred them. It was a 250 to like 90 game, but it actually was the fastest hardpoint we've had this season. It was like 7.5 minutes. And so, I mean, yeah, they fell flat. They didn't look great in that OpTic series at all. I think it kind of just one of those like OpTic just showed up moments. But honestly, like, I'm not worried about it. Like, this FaZe team, they lose to the 1 and 2 teams of this tournament. They still managed to get top 3. They still ran the winner bracket, got to winter finals. It's weird, right? When we talk about this FaZe team nowadays, we don't know what to say. It's like, yeah, they're gonna make top 3 every event. Yeah. It's like we're never worried about them. And it's like the question is, do they clutch up in their big series and win it all, or do they fall a little short? I think this time they just ended up falling a little short, but I think they'll bounce back. They'll probably have a dominant Major 4. And I think the only big call out here is like Ben like saying this, like, does FaZe have a mental block against this OpTic team? That was the one thing I was really hoping was gonna help when Austin got on this team, was like kind of helping them get over that hurdle. But honestly, I mean, he was really quiet in that OpTic series, and so I think that was a big difference maker for them. I really wanted him to kind of just come out and fry OpTic, and kind of set the tone and get over this little like FaZe has a mental block era, since they apparently did in Vanguard. But this is the first time I think they lost to him on LAN, the first time they matched up. So definitely fell short. Probably did not meet their expectations. But I mean, look, they ran their S&D streak. They still look good across the board. The big thing is just they got to improve the hardpoint. That's really the big call out. Like, their hardpoint is just not up to par. I don't think it's like bottom 4 in the league or anything like that, but I mean, they're losing hard points, and when you have that much talent on the team, like, you should be taking respawns in a series convincingly.
I know we like to say that OpTic has a lot of left stick mistakes, is what we call them, when it comes to their respawn game modes and why they lose. But I think the reason why FaZe struggles in hardpoint in this game is because they have a pacing issue. A lot of people won't think they do, and they are competitive in a lot of the hard points that they play. But I think that at times, situationally, they get into these weird, awkward scenarios where the only one who is playing with aggression is aBeZy, and even sometimes maybe he's playing with too much aggression. And when it comes to those, crunch time like moments where they got to like break a hill and they get a certain amount of kills and they have to like finally kill the last guy or pounce on the last 2, they get staggered, or they like take a little bit too much time. And I feel like a lot of that reason is Cellium. I think Cellium is an MVP caliber player, and I feel like he makes way more good plays than he does mistakes. But there are times where I've noticed that like he'll play too much for somebody to like peek him, when like if that person does give him nothing, he almost is just like sitting there waiting and being useless. Like so at times it's like he's trying to like for example, if like a player's behind a wall in a hard and he can wall bang that wall, he'll try to wall bang that wall instead of just jumping at the guy and getting the kill. And like if he doesn't wall bang the guy, he just wastes an entire clip. His boy runs up behind him, runs past him, runs into the hill and dies. He's sitting there reloading. Like it literally happened on that Mercado where he's just wall banging the fucking wall for the entire time when like he's just waiting for his team. I'm like, bro, you gotta like engage, like wall bang the door a couple times, whatever, open the door, like start the engagement process. You're costing your team. It obviously is super niche because I think Cellium more often than not is making plays that are helping this team win. I think they have a pacing issue to a degree, and I feel like at times he needs to speed the fuck up because the hard point in this game needs to be played a lot quicker in certain scenarios, and he's not doing it.
Chris, that was spot on. You actually stole a lot of the words out of my mouth with the wall bangs thing as well. And I think a big reason why they are so consistent is because of his performances he brings every single tournament. And you know what you're going to get from MC every time he plays Call of Duty, right? And I agree. And after they won the major, we talked about this in the last podcast. They were in my hotel. Slasher bumped into me in the hallway in the hotel, and he said, we're going to have to work on Hardpoint. We're going to have to work on it. So they've had a few weeks to work on it. I don't know if I could say they've necessarily improved in Hardpoint, which you're always looking to do, but the one thing about FaZe, like Pat said, you can never count them out. Even the Seattle match, I don't think we talk enough about this, but the plays that Simp made 5-5 against Seattle in that search and destroy is some of the most elite search and destroy you could ever see. And you could clearly tell the way that changes the momentum of players, careers, series, tournaments, organizations, right? Like Seattle came out flat versus OpTic after that because I'm sure it demoralized them that Simp made his 5-5 play on Sib and on Pred when they had the 3v2. So if they can figure out Hardpoint, it will be like the Cold War phase again. So I think everyone in the league knows that because their search is just the best in the league. And if their Hardpoint can get more consistent, if MC stops wallbanging sometimes, like this is the thing with a 0.85 and a 1.3. If that's Charlie Hicksy, he's just going to run in the hill, jump chow, and he might not even hit a bullet. And that's going to be why he's a 0.85. And MC is going to wallbang it, let aBeZy run in, maybe let Simp run in, but he's gonna play a guarantee every time. So if you play that way, your stats are gonna show it. Not always will it be the best play, and it goes back to what you said with eye test, Chris, but more times than not, Cellium is gonna be in form and making a lot of plays to help his team win. So when they fall short, are we expecting them to win every single tournament? I'm not. Am I expecting them to get like top 3, top 4, top 6 at worst if it's an off week for them? Yeah. So to me, this is no new news. I mean, top 3 is whatever. Like they're always going to be back and ready for the next one.
Yeah, I think it's always funny when we do talk about FaZe because it's obviously like if they don't win, it's like what did they do wrong? And there is like this weird expectation that they're just going to win every single tournament, and we're talking like they place top 12 or something when their bad tournaments are top 3, top 4.
They're just an anomaly to talk about. Like
yeah,
like we talk about every team on the 1 through 12 scale, and they're the 1 through 3 scale.
Yeah,
like it's like it's just an anomaly.
But I mean, to be fair, they've set that expectation, so now it's like everyone just holds them to it, and it's better for them that way.